So, in case you missed it yesterday, one of the most important institutes in the entire federal government for worker safety, the National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, otherwise known as NIOSH, was essentially shut down yesterday by the Department of Health and Human Services and Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr., saying that all of the workers that they laid off, which was essentially the entire workforce, had jobs that were being done by other individuals throughout the federal government. So if you don't know what NIOSH does, or I guess did at this point, it is the governing body for a lot of worker safety things. Essentially, exposure limits to certain toxic chemicals like hydrochloric acid and lead and other things like that. It does health screenings for coal workers. It has an X-ray machine it sends out to look for black lung. It keeps a registry of cancers and firefighters, World Trade Center victims, people that responded to the World Trade Center or were in the World Trade Center at its collapse in 2001. It provided health benefits for those individuals. It does a whole host of things. It does all of the respiratory masks for certain toxic chemicals, especially for firefighters and things like that. Essentially makes sure that all of those are up to standard. In fact, NIOSH is the only governing body currently that can regulate respirators for anyone in Indian industry, from mine workers to firefighters to healthcare individuals to those that work in hazmat. It is the only one. And now it essentially no longer exists. So firefighters will no longer receive free cancer screenings. World Trade Center victims and responders will no longer receive free cancer screenings or support for their healthcare problems. Coal miners will no longer receive free scans for black lung that go to them and help them with what happens after they receive black lung. NFPA recently put out new standards for safety equipment for firefighters. Those safety equipment cannot be certified by NIOSH because NIOSH no longer exists. In addition, NIOSH also does independent investigations into every single firefighter line of duty death. They can no longer do that and provide safety recommendations to fire departments to prevent line of duty deaths in the future. Eliminating this organization helps no one and harms everyone.